Hi, my name is Ryan Tipps, and I'm with Adam Turer. We are senior editors with D3Football.com, and we're coming at you from Alliance, Ohio, after we've just seen something that we haven't seen in a couple years, and that's Mount Union take down Wisconsin-Whitewater. And they didn't just take down Whitewater. They did it in a pretty big fashion, winning 36-6.
It's Mount Union's first victory over Whitewater since 2008, and like Brian said, they did it in pretty dominating fashion. Early on, though, it didn't seem that way.
No, it really started out as a game that I thought Whitewater was going to take control of it. The very first two drives that Whitewater had, they got on the scoreboard. The problem is that was just field goals. And teams like to establish early on some big points, some touchdowns, and they just, while they had some really nice drives and some really big plays, they weren't really able to bring it all together and get some big points out of them.
Yeah, the first two drives, Whitewater converted a lot of third downs, moved the ball pretty much at will, and then towards the red zone, Mount Union's defense started to crack down a little bit. They forced the two field goals, but that led to some interesting decisions later on in the first half, where once Whitewater got on the board with the first touchdown to take a 7-6 lead, then Mike Furta came up with a big interception, set up the Purple Raiders near the red zone again. They score another touchdown, and then because it's 13-6 at that point, the Purple Raiders decide to go for two and make it a two-score game, which I thought was a really clever and interesting decision. So then Mount Union goes up 15-6, a 9-point game, and after that, it was all Purple Raiders.
Yeah, once you got into the third quarter, the Purple Raiders really just dominated every facet of the game. One of the big points that they stood out more than they have in previous years was at the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively. And that was something that Vince Karras had said during the press conference, is that his players maybe have been a little bit tired of hearing that Whitewater dominates them at the line every year, and that's kind of been Mount Union's Achilles heel in the Stag Bowl. So he talked about that they had worked on it a little bit heavier than normal starting in January, and that's kind of what's gotten them to where they are now.
Yeah, and that whole storyline has been extinguished with authority here on this field today. Got to give a shout out to Brooks Jenkins, Michael Frank, Mitch Doherty, Tyler Baker, and Matt Fitchett. Those guys paved the way for Mount Union's offense all day long. Yeah. Logan Nemeth, 32 carries, 214 yards, I believe.
Yeah,
was 214 yards. Yeah. No turnovers. Therese Scott had all the time he needed. When the pocket broke down, he scrambled. There really was no weakness in Mount Union's offense all day.
There really wasn't. I mean, Logan Nemeth, yeah, he was amazingly dominant and finding holes and everything. But one thing I had tweeted out earlier was Therese Scott he was sneaky fast. I mean, you almost didn't know he had the ball, and he was slipping through spots. I mean, he was really finding his way, and when plays broke down, he was really making something happen.
Yeah, I can't recall too many plays at all in this game where Mount Union went down on first contact or went down at the line of scrimmage. I mean, Nemeth would have 2-3 yards before first contact, then he'd break a tackle or two. Same thing with Scott. He'd be wrapped up, spin out of it, and he'd find a hole, and they'd always get those extra hidden yards that an offense needs to keep the chains moving, and that's how they were able to pull away with 21 second-half points.
Yes, and yes, what they more than just them scoring 21 second-half points is Whitewater scored none. I mean, after those first two drives, they were totally shut out, and it has to be. It certainly has to be saddening for them considering how well they've matched up against Mount Union in the past.
Yeah, and Whitewater's got a much younger team this year. I think Mount Union is the more veteran team. A lot of these starters played on the 2012 championship team as freshmen, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You've got guys like Tom Lally, Alex Coach, Trey Jones, Hank Spencer, guys that have been there, been in the trenches, and played together for so many years now. How many games in a row?
Looking at the stat sheets, I mean, they've been playing together for 58, 56, 55 games. I mean, these are kids who have played more games, as starters and stuff than a lot of college players play total.
Right. And they were the big keys to the defense today. Lally broke another record, got another sack to be the single season Mount Union career record holder with 18. Trey Jones shadowed Marcus Hudson all day, the Whitewater receiver, shut him out, held him without one single catch, and also the coverage on the back end allowed Spencer, Lally, Alarms, all those guys up front to really get after the quarterback.
That was one thing that Coach Willis had said, is that Mount Union was able to kind of take away their balance and kind of turn them into a one-dimensional team. Ratliff wasn't able to do as much as he would have liked, especially in the second half, and that really helped Mount Union dominate.
Yeah, Ratliff finished with 99 yards on 24 carries, but 38 of those came on that big run on one of the early first quarter drives that set up a field goal. In the second half, the last 3 quarters, really, he was really shut down, and really their offense became one-dimensional, and they just didn't have the passing game. But once they fell behind by so many scores, they just couldn't come back.
So what do you think about Mount Union going into Salem next week?
Oh, certainly with a lot of confidence. They got over the Whitewater hump that, the team that ended their season the last 2 years. They got past them in convincing fashion by 30 points. They're seemingly playing their best football of the season. I thought it was interesting that Whitewater's 6 points was the fewest points Mount Union has allowed in a postseason game this year. To come against that team and that offense was extremely impressive. But as Coach Karras said in the post-game press conference, if they don't take care of business on Friday, this doesn't feel nearly as good as it should.
They are certainly looking to hoist the walnut and bronze and to really kind of cap this season in a big fashion, and they'll have a chance to do it against either St. Thomas or Linfield.
And for these seniors, they can win a championship by going through Whitewater, something that they hadn't been able to say. So they'll be in Salem on Friday against either Linfield or St. Thomas, and I think if they play like this, they're going to match up well with each team.
Absolutely. Well, this has been our game recap here in Alliance, Ohio. Again, my name is Ryan Tipps, and I'm with Adam Turer, and thank you very much.
See you in Salem.